Children, today let us continue with the second part of the mineral and energy resources, chapter number 9. Now, the energy resources, they are the one which are the necessity for the industrial and for the economic development of the country, which would then lead for the improving standard of living in our country. All right, now, how do we obtain energy? So it is obtained from the commercial resources like the coal, petroleum and electricity. And it is in fact the per capita consumption of the commercial energy that is used sometimes as the index for the economic development of the country. Okay. Now there are two types of the energy. One that is conventional, the another one that is non-conventional. So what are the conventional sources of the energy? What is it? Now conventional sources of the energy, they are the ones which are exhaustible in nature. Once used, they can finish up. It is bound to finish up because its presence is less there in the nature. And we have to extract it and treat it before we can use it. Now, when used, they cause pollution because they emit smoke and ash. And they are very expensive to be maintained and stored and then transferred. Now, it was because of this process that the Industrial Revolution, it became possible. Now, what are the first one that is given over here, the type of the conventional, that is the coal. The coal energy, it became the primary source of the energy for the household and the industrial user. But after effects we have also felt of it by the way of the global warming, depleting mineral resources, and we have now realized that we have to cut down on the carbon emissions. And in fact, we are the third largest producer of the coal in the whole world. Now, what are the types of the coal? The types of the coal that is available, it depends upon the percentage of the carbon that is present in it. So, we have got 4: anthracite, bituminous, lignite and peat. Now, anthracite, it is considered to be the best quality of the coal and it is used up in the domestic process. Now, why it is considered to be the best quality of the coal? Because it contains over 80% of the carbon. It is very hard and compact. When it burns, it leaves very less amount of the smoke and the ash. In Jammu and Kashmir region of our country, it is found there. Then we have bituminous. Now, bituminous coal, this is the one where the variety this variety of the coal, it contains about 60 to 80% of the carbon. Its calorific value is very high and it leaves very less amount of the ash and the smoke. And in our country, it is found in the state of Jharkhand, Odisha, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. Now, lignite, that is known by the name of the brown coal. It is the inferior quality and it is friable in nature. It contains more amount of the moisture. So, when it burns, it leaves more amount of the smoke and the ash, and it is found in the region of Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu and Assam. Peat. Now, this is the first of the transformation of the coal, where the wood, it changes to coal. So, it is very inferior quality. It contains only about 50 to 60% of the carbon content, and it gives a lot of the smoke and leaves a lot of the ash after it burns. So in India, it is found in the state of Jharkhand, Odisha, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh. So what are the uses of the coal? It is used in the generation of the power. It is used in the generation of the electric power for the mineral-based industries. All right. And it is also used to run the railways. All right. The steam-based engine. But it has been now reduced because of the electrification of the railways that has taken place. Now, in the slide that is front of you, you see over here the distribution of the coal state-wise, north and south, it is given. Please go through it, learn it. Distribution of the coal, Gondwana coal fields. Now, in this topic, the name of the state and the coal field that is given, please learn it. And the tertiary coal fields, that also the name and the state is given, please learn it. Now, Gondwana fields, they are the ones which are of the old earth formation, and tertiary are the one which is relatively new formation. So please learn the names as it is given there in the book. Advantages of the coal energy. Now, what are the advantages? That it is the primary energy source. It is very affordable and it has the stable prices. It is easy to burn. does not depend upon the climatic condition, and it is versatile in nature. Disadvantage of the coal, it is that the environmental impact is too much. Okay, and the coal mining impact, that is also too much. Environmental impact as in the emission of the carbon dioxide that takes place. So greenhouse gases, it increases, it leads to the increase in the pollution. Coal mining impact as such that the surrounding land, it turns into the bad land area, then nothing can be done on that particular piece of the land. Impact on the miners' health, that when miners, they go in, then they have a very high risk because they are constantly exposed to the poisonous gases which can lead them to have diseases like lung cancer or the black lung. Then it is the non-renewable course. So even if we are digging the earth for coal, we are not extracting all of it. So we have to find out the ways and the method by which we can conserve the coal. We have to find out the new reserves. We have to adopt the new techniques, okay, so that the conservation of the coal, it takes place. The second of the topic that we have, that is the petroleum or the mineral oil. Now it is found into the region mainly where the deposits of the sedimentary rock type material, it is there. Now what are the uses of the petroleum? They are used as the transportation power, the locomotive power, and it emits very less amount of the smoke and it has no ash, so it can be used up to the last of the drop. The main sources of the many products like the petrol, kerosene, diesel oil, benzene, that is the petroleum only, and it is also used up in the making of the paints, medicines, plastics and fertilizers. Distribution in India. Now distribution in India, we have got the offshore near Mumbai, then Digboi and Nahar Katria, Rudra Sagar in Assam. In Gujarat, we have got the Khambat area, all that portion, that is also very important one for the presence of the oil. Now, children, again the map that is given of the petroleum and the refineries, state-wise it is listed. Please go through it. The name of the state and the region where it is to be found. Then we have on the next page the table that is given. So they have the names of the major oil refineries in India and the name of the oil company, states and location that is given. So 18 of them, they are listed as the public refineries, that is entirely owned by the government. And then we have the oil refineries under the private sector meaning that is owned by the private individual. Now list of the major oil fields in India. We have the onshore oil field in northeast India, the names are given, please go through it. Onshore oil fields in the western India, like in Gujarat, the Khambat Basin area, the largest one over there, please go through the names that are mentioned over there. Oil-shore oil fields in southern India. Now this is the Godavari Basin and Kaveri Basin, they have become the prospective oil fields of India, so please go through the name over there. Then we have the Bombay High or the offshore oil field of India. Now nowadays it is known by the name of the Mumbai High. ONGC, Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, they discovered the offshore oil field on the continental shelf area, that is off the coast of Maharashtra, 176 kilometers northwest of Mumbai. Now it has the structure, the iron rig that is installed here by the name of Sagar Samrat, okay, which is spread over 2500 kilometers, and the production also, it started out in somewhere around 1976. So this is one of the largest of the oil fields that we have got in our country, and maximum production for the country, it comes from this particular area. Now the another one that we have is the Reliance Jamnagar oil refinery in India. Now this is the world largest private sector crude oil refinery, okay, that is the largest one in the world. Now what are the advantages of the petroleum? We know that it can be extracted very easily, so the modern technologies, they have been utilized for the extraction of it, even through the ocean surveys. It has a very high density, it can be extracted at the lower cost. Disadvantage is what? It is the natural fossil fuel, so its supply is limited. That is why we also see that so much amount of the inflation, the price, it changes of the petroleum very frequently. Then pollution that is caused Then it is a non-renewable form of the energy. And once it is generated and it cannot be replaced again, then the depletion of the fossil fuel, it leads to the limited supply of the petroleum. So we have to find some alternative sources of the energy. Next we have is the natural gas. Now natural gas is the one that mainly consists of the methane, and it can be created in two ways. One, that is biogenic mechanism that can be created in the landfills, and it can be then harvested to use for the fuel. The another one, that is thermogenic gas, that is created inside the earth at the greater temperature and the pressure condition, and then the fuel, it can be utilized as well. Now GAIL, that is the Gas Authority of India Limited, that is the authority of the central government of India, which has been doing research work where the natural gas exploration that is concerned. What are the advantages? Advantages that it is renewable resource. It can be created even in the landfills where the garbage of the city that is being dumped, and it can be safely stored up. It is environmental friendly. Disadvantage is also there, like it creates the greenhouse gases. That means that it creates pollution as well, and it is highly flammable in nature, and if transported carelessly, then it can lead to the hazardous. Problem is what? Problem is that it takes place because of the required compression and transport facilities, and there is a certain lack of the technical help for the operational safety. So the flaring of the gas, that is a common place. Okay, that is the common problem that it can take place. So children, we'll continue the topic in the next slide as well. Next we have got the hydropower. Now from this topic we have got Bhakra Nangal project and Hirakud Dam or Mahanadi River project. We have got only the location and the benefits of it. So let us begin with it. Bhakra Nangal project, it is the joint venture of the states of Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan government. It is the largest multi-purpose project of our country. Alright, and Bhakra Dam, it is one of the highest dams in the world. Now it is located or constructed across the river Satluj at the site of the Bhakra Gorge in the Shivaliks, about 80 kilometers north of Ambala city. The benefits of the Bhakra Nangal Dam, first of all, it was the project that was mainly for the generation of the hydroelectric power. Okay, and the electricity, it would be supplied to the state of Punjab, Haryana, parts of Delhi and Rajasthan. Now the electricity that is supplied for the industrial, agriculture and the domestic use. Now it is also used for the tube wells, that is the main source of the irrigation. Wherever in the region canals, they cannot go. This project has also helped in controlling the floods in river Satluj. The other benefits that includes the soil conservation program, afforestation, development of the fish culture and increase in the production of the food crops and cash crops. Now there are a number of the industries that take the benefit from the Bhakra Nangal project. Now these industries, they are cotton, textile, sugar, copper, machine tools, sports goods, electrical goods, cement, hosiery, wool and tractors. Next we have Hirakud Dam or Mahanadi River project. Now the Hirakud Dam, that is also called the Mahanadi River project because it is built across river Mahanadi about 15 kilometers from Sambalpur in the state of Odisha in India. Now it was built in 1953. The location, it is in Odisha. It is in the lower valley of river Mahanadi and it has its source in Maikala hills of Madhya Pradesh and flows for the hundreds of the kilometers through Odisha before entering Bay of Bengal. It has the catchment area of 1,32,600 square kilometers. It is the world's longest mainstream dam. Odisha, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, they benefit, these are the states that benefit from this project. Now the benefits of the Hirakud project, it makes the valuable contribution to the industrial development of the state of the Odisha because it is very rich in the mineral resources. Like in the previous of the chapter, mineral resources, we have seen like Odisha, it is the main state where iron, bauxite and manganese, they are extracted. So for the industrial development, the dam is very useful. Then the another of the benefit is for the soil conservation in Mahanadi Valley, fish culture and water sports.